The thing that I really identified with Dr. Rao is this idea of how to quiet the mind that you just mentioned in this kind of 24/7 meditation. For those of us that are just hearing that for the first time and trying to really
Mm,
understand how to do that or how to integrate that,
mhm.
do you have any idea for a novice what you could recommend that those listening today could do to start to integrate this idea of being the screen?
Absolutely. I can mention that, but I must also caution you that this is not something which is going to happen overnight. It will require consistent effort on your part. I was first introduced by this notion by Swami Shivananda, who was another enlightened being. And he said you should spend all your time in prayer. And that did not sit well with me. I thought he's crazy. Prayer is good, prayer is useful, and maybe you do it in the morning, you do it in the evening, but spend all your time in prayer. I mean, that's crazy. There's stuff I want to do. I've got a family, I've got a career, I've got things I like to do, like having beer with my friends or watching a movie or just taking a lot of junk food, whatever. There's other things in life. It's important. I can't spend all my time in prayer. But then I found out I was wrong. You can and should spend all your time in prayer. And how you do this didn't become clear to me until I read another great classic called The Way of a Pilgrim. When he talks about there is do the Jesus prayer all the time. No matter what you're doing, eating, drinking, sleeping, carrying on your business, in the back of your mind, always have the Jesus prayer going on. Dedicate all of your work to him, because remember what I told you earlier, the notion that you're the doer is pernicious, because if you're the doer, then there's other things you could be doing that perhaps could be better, and still other things could have been even better. And then there are mistakes you made, and the would have, could have, should have all come in. So I tell all my coaching clients the same, and I have clients from every major wisdom tradition. I have Catholics, I have Protestants, I have Muslims, I have Hindus, I have Sikhs, I have Buddhists, and I always tell them the same thing. Sometimes I change the person that I recommend based on their upbringing. For some, I say Allah did it. For some, I say Jesus did it. For some, I say Krishna did it. But apart from that, it's exactly the same. So your life is not your life. Jesus is driving the chariot. He is doing it. All you're doing is you're being an instrument. And the undercurrent of that has always been there in the teachings if you've been ready to hear it. What did Saul of Tarsus say when he became St. Paul? I live, yet not I. Christ liveth in me. I am not doing it. It is being done through me. And the moment you accept that it's being done through me, the ego drops away. One of the things I run into very frequently, particularly with entrepreneurs who like to think of themselves as more enlightened, is, God has been so good to me and I've been so fortunate and I have to give back. I'm going to help those who are less mourned. That's just your ego talking about. No, you're not doing anything. Get hold of yourself, recognize your nature, and then perhaps what you do would be helpful. But in the meantime, if you feel called upon to help, recognize that that is a divine urge that has been put into you and honor it. But Jesus is doing the work. You're just the instrument through which he chooses to do the work. So be immensely grateful that you're the instrument, but don't ever think that you're doing it. I'm giving back. No, that's your ego speaking.
Hmm.
Let it happen and be grateful that you're being chosen as the instrument. And you've got to think about it constantly until it's no longer a thought, but it's really become an expression of who you are.
Hmm.
And that's when you'll find that you're no longer bowed down by the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. It's simply stuff that happens because you're in the human condition. As long as in the human condition, stuff will happen. There will be serious illness and death. There will be career setbacks. There will be financial reverses. There will be relationship problems. That's part of being in the human condition. You will deal with each of these situations as appropriate when you're there, but you'll deal with it from the space of this is the soap opera that is playing out, and I am a character in the soap opera, and I will play the character with full gusto. But I will never forget that I am the actor, and I identify with the actor, not the character. And that's what will help those of you listeners who are passing through severe problems. But they really have to work with this concept before it'll start having an impact outside.